one of the campaigns, which says it's amazing what migrants bring. Now, I don't know if you can read here what it says, but basically I will give some examples which I have here. One says, I've brought endless curiosity, a PhD no one else could have written, and a glorious recipe for borscht. Another one says, I've brought multitasking skills, heaps of team spirit, and all the latest dance moves. This is just to show that migrants also, bring good things and they're human beings like all of us. One more example, and then I'll end because I know that my time is short. This is another campaign which is called I Am a Migrant, and here we have all kinds of people around the world who are migrants and who tell their stories. It's on an online platform where people also interact, and we even have members of parliament, etc., that have testified here because they're also migrants. So I encourage all of you, I don't know if there are any migrants here in the room, but those who would like to contribute to these positive campaigns, they're very welcome, and we would happily, like to include you. Thank you.
As much as for promoting these projects about the positive aspects of migration and creating diversity. Very well, thank you. So let's quickly continue to our next speaker, Mr. Antoine Malado. Thank you for being here. I will leave it at the director of Advocacy Multi-Youth Alliance in Brussels. Please welcome Mr. Malado.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be here. This is such an important subject, especially for young people that we are now victims. I don't know if the presentation is already there. I have prepared this presentation. This is about a program that is called Human Dignity Curriculum, which is finally a program of World Youth Alliance on citizenship education. How finally citizenship education is the best tool for preventing youth radicalization. I have this presentation, but I think I will pass a little bit fast in most of things because we need to be short and have a bit of time for questions. If you can pass for the first, next one. Okay, so this is a little bit to speak about, well, the causes of youth radicalization. I think the big problem is youth in their lives. They need ideas, they need to dream. And today they are facing a very, very difficult situation. These are some of the economical situations that they are facing, which are quite difficult. This is youth unemployment, which is at 23% in the whole European Union, which is double to normal unemployment rates. In some places, it's almost 50%. For those that have unemployment, there is also the risk of overqualification. So they have a master's degree and they are working in a McDonald's. So this is quite frustrating for young people. At the same time, there is the instability of jobs. And finally, all this with a threat of the reduction of the services and the security that the state is going to offer you. Because I don't know if you know about dependency rate. Well, the dependency rate means how much people we need to pay for those that we are working. And the dependency rate is going to double in 20 years, which means that all the social services that we are providing now is going to cost double in 20 years. So now we are having difficulties to pay for all of this. So in 20 years, we are telling young people that they have a bad job, if they have a job, and that they will have to pay double their taxes or receive half of the services. So of course, for them, it's really, really frustrating. We can pass for next one. Well, the social situation is also quite difficult. The education is, the educational system is not really adapted to the world of today. We need to improve it much more. It's a lot of difficulties. I will not go much deeper into it, but we can see that this is a real problem there is a big problem in the family today, in the society. Well, when you don't have the economy to help you, at least you have the family. But today, the family is kind of under attack. It's really a pity, but the image we have about the family all over Europe, or all when you search for family in a newspaper, in Google, wherever, what you will really get is about divorce, about violence, about difficulties, and the funny thing is this is not the real picture. I was having statistics the other day, and I think it's 76% of kids in Europe that are living with the two parents. So we are thinking that finally everyone is divorced. Exactly, but so finally we could be showing a much better image of family, showing all the good aspects of family, all the good things that happen, and giving young people something to get enthusiasm.
Yes.
So I think this is very important, and this is something we are missing. We are not giving these good ideas to young people. But we can go to the next one. Well, social exclusion is very linked to these three other. I wanted to say about the spiritual, I don't know how to really call it, but because it's not necessarily linked to any religion, but finally is which are the values of our society that we are giving, providing to those young people. And today it's a little bit void. After the terrorist attacks in France, there was a member of the Academy of France, I don't remember his name, that was in a television debate, and he was saying, do we have anyone in France that is able to die for our values, our Republican values? Because the terrorists in front, they are willing to die. And that is a failure, because our values they deserve to die for. Our values, our democracy, our freedom, they deserve to die for. But we are not able to pass this to the next generation, and this is a failure, of course. We need to show that these values, and which values are those. Today, I just put there this image of this person with money. This is the main value of our society. This is the main value that we are mainly proposing to young people. And this is so sad, especially one they cannot get there, because they cannot get an employment or a good employment. So the only value we are really proposing them is money, but they cannot get money. So of course, what are we expecting from them? If it is not really going to be terrorist, Islamic terrorist, it's going to be something else. Okay, so I was now, well, our human dignity curriculum is really focusing human dignity. This is mainly to speak about human dignity curriculum. Are some of the main ideas we're promoting. This is not based on any religious faith, but finally I think we are sharing most of religious faith in this curriculum. It is open to all religious faiths, and we are defending the values of all religions, I think. This is mainly, well, the human dignity, I think, is the core of World Youth Alliance and human dignity curriculum. So we need this human dignity to be universal. We always explain that finally the human dignity is the same for every human person. And in fact, we recognize this human dignity by the fact we are treating people as subjects. We treat people as subjects by our own actions. I don't really recognize you as a subject if I am treating you as an object. Which means finally that I am engaged by my whole person in the recognition of human dignity. I cannot just say, well, you have dignity. It's not just a speech. It's something that I am doing with my every action of everyday life. And we have to recognize this human dignity universally for every human person. It doesn't matter whatever religion, whatever condition, whatever situation. And this is not a little thing. This is not simple. This put us into a big, big challenge, which means, for instance, I am not truly recognizing the human dignity of a homeless person if at least I am not caring for what is happening there. Then I am not recognizing my own human dignity if I am not acting in the good situation. So after that, normally we explain to kids and teenagers what is called the theories of human powers. So normally we speak about vegetative powers, animal powers, which means, well, vegetative normally, so plants can grow. There was a little kid explaining that very well, saying like plants grow because they can, animals eat and move, and the human person can be excellent. That was a very funny way of explaining it, because in fact, excellent is, well, you can pass. Excellent, in fact, is the purpose of freedom, or at least we explain it like that. Is we are free. In fact, of course, we are free of being a bad person, of being a good person, of course. But the good thing of freedom is that you can be a hero. We explain that to young people like that. If you are free, you have the possibility to choose for being the best, in fact. And this is what is great about freedom. Well, I put there an image of Batman, which is my favorite hero, because in fact he's just a normal guy that he don't have any extra power. He's just a normal guy with a lot of technology and everything. But when you can pass to the next one, it's just a little joke. We need to be those ordinary heroes, in fact. We are just in the metro, but this is what we need from our young people. And of course, this is way different of what we are just proposing. Of course, here we are engaging our young people with some values, and we are telling them, well, you need to be a good person and you need to be better always. But finally, this is something that enthusiasms them, because they want to be this kind of person. Well, we can pass to the next one. Well, now we are going to the consequences of this, and also which are normally the outcomes we should get out of it. I think, as I was telling, family should be at the center of politics. And finally, where we are teaching through this program also how finally family is the best way for them also to grow and to thrive, to be the best of themselves, because finally they are the ones that are supporting them the best. There is a big problem today, I think politically or socially, is that the family sometimes tend to be, how to say, we need to put something else than the family, instead of supporting the family. We don't need to suppress the family or to take the place of the family, because the family is the substitute, the family is the most efficient way, the most economical way, and the most effective way. So, in fact, what we need to do is to support much more the family. For this issue, in fact, I was very happy to have this first panel speaking about mothers, how mothers can really support on avoiding radicalization of young people. I have attended several conferences in this house about this issue, and some policemen were telling that, in fact, the source of best information sometimes were the mothers of their own radical young people, because they feel it directly. Well, from my own side, I have experienced that so many times, when even just you are feeling a bit badly and your mother already know it. I am even very far from how. She's just calling me at the moment that I need is even very special. I don't know how to say it, but the truth is that if we are not working with the family, we are losing, in fact, our best asset on this issue. And of course, as I was telling, is to support much more the image of the family in the society, because it's our best ally. Because to the next one, well, there is a very little joke. You cannot see. Well, it's just no. Well, it's, every family has a rebel Politics, I think, well, we need a new way of doing politics, of course. And I think sometimes our representative system for the world of today, that is Internet 2.0, that everyone participates, is a little bit old-fashioned. So we need so much more to hear, in fact, to young people and to hear to people, and to try to be much more open to political debate. And really, sometimes we are experiencing from young people that debates are politically, so they are telling this is good and this is bad, and our political idea is like that. And they don't really understand, like, can they really debate really about the idea with arguments and to try to see for an agreement, really, and not just to throw things to themselves. Well, this is just a little thing. You can pass to the next one. And of course, the human dignity. This is also related to this political debate, where sometimes I think we are losing the centrality of human dignity, the political debate and in the society, and we need to put it again. And this universal recognition of the human dignity, we need to put it at the very center of it. For instance, sometimes we are experiencing in the political debate how they are promoting human rights. They are telling, okay, and this is also very good, but sometimes we are using human rights politically to promote our own agenda. And this is really, really bad. For doing this Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we were working for several years, consulting every country, trying to make a real agreement between every country, consulting, in fact, every religious tendency, every culture, every philosophy. That was the beginning of UNESCO. And after, I think it was 2 years delayed, they finished with this Universal Declaration of Human Rights with a general agreement. So sometimes when there is a claim for human rights, for a political ideology or an idea, we have to be very careful because in fact we are devaluating this wonderful Universal Declaration that we have. And of course we need to still use this Universal Declaration and have it to widen its scope, but we need to do it in the same spirit, in fact, in the same spirit of consensus, because if not, we cannot really agree, and we cannot really change the society to make it more respectful of humanity.
Thank you, Mr. Malado, for your very spirited presentation on the project on human dignity. Very valuable. Also, you also earlier mentioned about that we're in the West, we're not used to rely on family, and this also, I think, what the Eastern migrants also bring to Europe, that they are used to rely on family. Thank you so much. Then we quickly go to our last speaker on this panel. This is Atefe Sedefit. She earned her master's in peace studies, security development, and international conflict, transformation, and I would like us to welcome her. Yes.
Thank you very much. Very happy to be here among so many senior experts today. And it's sometimes a privilege to be the last speaker. You have heard everybody, some of you shared some of the things that you have not shared, and sometimes some others share the thoughts that you want to share, which gives you more encouragement. When I was asked to present here, I started digging into my knowledge, and my main area is of intercultural and interfaith peace building work. And I tried to understand, to bring a new understanding of what peace means in our today's world, which we really want to believe is a cosmopolitan world, but unfortunately it lacks a sense of belonging to a community that shares pluralities. So it's not really a cosmopolitan world. The borders that are here and that mix cultures very much are also dividing cultures very much. They are repelling cultures here. I try to find answers to the question of what can draw an early understanding and early ground to conflict transformation, and what definition and description of peace varies from one culture to another, and there is no need to form a homogeneous definition of peace. The concept and its perception varies widely, and if we talk about building cohesion and security in today's world, we need to bear that in mind first and before anything else. I was also going to argue on the weakness of political organizations in providing means of security through cultures and their falsely directed focus that fuels ignorance and false understanding of situations of human societies and amongst people. Of course, that is to their own benefit and interest. I could as well talk about the internal issues of Europe and the many revolts taking place in the past 10 years, and the neoliberal doctrine that actually creates spaces of fear and limits possibility and spaces for collective action towards peace building and security and cohesion. In fact, that instead builds and fuels hatred towards the other. I could as well take an easy look into the major issues happening currently, which are simply linked and labeled as migrant issues. A label that is broadly used to cover mobilization, organization, and production of discourses for which the center is the other, the migrant. With that and more, I could then conclude that the problem is not social, political, or economic merely, and not even of global politics alone, global policies alone. It now is a problem of security being represented in this otherness, who is henceforth the object of Europe's security. Then, to survive means to dissolve this migrant issue, this other issue, through the fuels of racism and polarization. However, then I had to stop right there and at these arguments and think about what is missing here. And these are the things we always hear, we can also build on them very broadly, but the question is, has Europe put enough effort into building security, into integration? And if it has, then what are we missing here? I was very sure a lot of things would be covered, so I gave myself the courage to go further, and I'm happy to hear some others like Mr. Harris also mention that side. So what is missing here is that there is no room left for humanity. That the walls have been built, and any chance and any room for collective actions towards peace and security has been destroyed. Without such a room, radicalization is easily born, and people form their enemies without much trouble, through lack of understanding one another, fueled by forces that see salvation in getting rid of the other. Here in Europe, the discourses are much about the culture of war and not about the culture that war creates. We do not talk about a generation that carries their trauma and might one day gain the power, the gear, or simply be triggered by a simple act to conceptualize that trauma into a violent action. What is missing here, despite all efforts, is humans. We do not take into account the humans' feelings, nor do we care to talk about what spaces should be given to those feelings, if we truly talk about building integration and security. Today, after all my experience of the intercultural and interfaith peace buildings, I have come to realize that it should no longer be about interfaith or intercultural approach. It should go beyond that. It should touch the very core of humanity, its feelings. We should realize that it's okay not to share the same opinions, and we can still be able to build security and cohesion in its vibrant nature of humanity. Sadly, to the rise of individualism, we have lost our collectiveness. We have lost our touch with our feelings and with feelings for one another. We lost acknowledging that the other is important too, is human too, has the same feelings and the same needs as well. We designed our comfort zones around ourselves and excluded others from it. It is me first, then you. I come from Iran, from a culture that glorifies sacrificing, a culture that tells me to put others before myself, that I shouldn't be what is defined as selfish. That culture was mainly born through 8 years of Iran-Iraq war, where people came together to help one another, to support one another in time of need. They sacrificed their needs and shared more of what they had to the other with the other instead of taking over for themselves. Now, here I am in this European culture that is somehow teaching me to be more individualistic, to care about myself more. It's teaching me that my needs matter more than the needs of the other. It's telling me that I am more important than the other. And I experience this imposition on my daily life. And I think to myself, it's not too difficult to build, it shouldn't be too difficult actually, to build a culture that balances these two, that actually sees me and you equally important. A culture that values moralities and not ethnicities, color, gender, educational background, and else. The only obstacle I see in forming such a balanced culture is coming out of our comfort zones of caring for our individual self and learning to love the other in the process of loving ourselves. It is vital to overcome the idea of superiority in its every sense. Humans are collective by nature, and individualism has put all the force into changing that nature, to which I believe we need to return. If we want to build a secure world, we should overcome the fear of the other by getting back in touch with the community. And as individualism built a wall around us, it gave rise to taking care of ourselves more and going towards more selfishness, and we lost a sense of belonging. And at that point, there are people who are more vulnerable, and those are the ones who can be easily radicalized. Those who have no slightest touch with such sense of community and who have not been in best places in their lives, have not received just treatment or have been isolated. Those who feel a great void in their hearts and their lives and strive to fill it with whatever they can get their hands on. And guess what? The extremist groups, such as the terrorist groups like ISIS, are doing it very well. They provide them what they need to fill that void in their hearts, in their lives, in their daily lives. So those people are desperate and they find their need where they shouldn't find it. Let me finish this with giving you two examples of what I faced here in the past 4 years that I've been living in Brussels that can sound simple and not important, but I see it's very important and I see how it can form hatred and division in society. When I was first going to move to Brussels, I was put in touch with a Belgian guy to ask my questions about housing and living here. So my first question was, where should I live there? And the response came immediately with no hesitation, saying, definitely more than they And I didn't know anything about this city, so I asked him, but why? And his answer is, because those are the migrant neighborhoods. Those are the migrant neighborhoods. That's where the migrants, the immigrants live. So I asked him, so you see me, I'm definitely not a white person, I'm coming from Milan, so I should be a migrant too, I deserve to live there. And the communication simply stopped there.